this is my fourth and final video in this little Let's Talk series for the Fates of Valorant, and given the events of last session, and for you guys watching, episode 24 will probably be out coming closer to the weekend, maybe Monday, book stamp, not sure, bookmark, should I say, not sure, depends when I finish it, but I feel like the last episode could only be reserved for Wulfric Reinbrandt of the Iron Dragons, Euan's Euan's character. My brain went to dad character, and whilst that is correct, I don't feel that encompasses Wulfric entirely. He's not just the dad of the party, he's other things too. But Wulfric is definitely becoming one of my favourite characters in the campaign, especially recently. I was very much on the fence with him when we started, but as of late, he is becoming one of my favourite characters. Not just in this campaign, but just in general. From the characters I've GM'd for, the characters I've played with, and the other characters I've seen Euan play, both as a GM and a player. Because he's just so different. And Euan is starting to do it really, really well. I was quite worried at the beginning, but he's really trying, he's really challenging himself with Wulfric, and I'll kind of explain what I mean with that. So I have GM'd for Euan and I've played with Euan both times, and every character he's given me either to play with or to GM for, they've been a little bit snarky, they've been a little bit cocky, they've been a little bit egotistical, self-centered, they are the hero, they're kind of the centre of their own story, and whilst Wulfric is definitely the centre of his story, and he does have a little bit of cockiness, see Summer Host, or well, any of his interactions with Marcus are, like he takes the spotlight sometimes. He's definitely not a traditional character for Euan. He has weaknesses, he has vulnerabilities, and Euan's willing to mould those and shape those and turn them into character development, rather than the first hurdle on the road comes along and his first thought is to retire him. And I feel like because he's kind of taken a step back, he's let Wulfric just be, you know, the mercenary from Drakenel who got fucked up by a dragon and is now on his quest for vengeance. He's just taken a step back with him. He just let everyone else's stories be told. You know, they've got bigger problems than him, they've got all this weird magic, like he's just a normal guy. He just wants to find out what happened. He just wants to make sure his friends are avenged, and like he's playing a character that feels real, you know? And that's nice, at least for me. That's what gets me excited about Wulfric, is like when we see Wulfric at his highs, like he's in the spotlight, he's ranting, he's raving, he's, you know, talking about his time in Thornsguard, talking about his time with the Iron Dragons, talking about all these, like, one of my favourite moments playing Wolfgang alongside him in Westcross, where we kind of got to batter back and forth about Wulfric's home life, and his siblings getting married, and, you know, family friend just messing everything up, and, like, that was nice. It grounded Wulfric, it gave him some semblance of realism, some semblance of, you know, the normal guy on this quest in this weird world and found himself in these weird circumstances. And when we see him at his lows, like he's willing to share them. You know, he doesn't run away from them, he doesn't shy away from them. He's throwing himself into them, like see Marcusar's death, both 1 and 2. Like he admittedly, first death, he did want to retire Wulfric, and I had to convince him otherwise. But like through RP, through showing his character being broken, like Wulfric and Eidolon grew so much closer as characters. Wulfric developed so much more, like as a character, as development. And then when Marcusar died a second time, like Euan completely changed his character class rather than wanting to retire Wulfric. Like we went through the different paladin oaths, and like he made the change from not even just one level, like every single level he had taken from first moving from a Battlemaster fighter to an Oath of Redemption paladin, like that was big, like, for me. And even now, like the previous episode, some of the stuff that happened for Wulfric in that as we move along to kind of his story, like, it makes me excited. It makes me like I'm gonna like I'm gonna throw some stuff at him that I think he's not gonna like, and I know he's not gonna like, and he knows he's not gonna like it. And he knows he's gonna have to flirt with me, which is also, I think he's actually more worried about that than what I might do combat wise or like narrative wise. I think he's just more worried about flirting with me. Like, I'm gonna challenge him, and I'm gonna keep challenging him, and I hope that he keeps going in the direction he's going with his RP, with his mechanics, with his combat, and he keeps developing the character. You know, to actually give him a rounded story, to give him a narrative that's not just he is the hero so he can't have weaknesses. I hope he keeps giving Wulfric weaknesses, and I hope he keeps playing to those weaknesses. Like, if I was to give something, I guess, that perhaps I would want from Wulfric, from Euan, is I'd maybe want him to be a bit braver with some of his instances. You know? Like, coming forward and some of the stuff I have planned, I kind of just want him to go for it. Like, if Wulfric would say something in a situation, I just want him to say it. You know? If Wulfric would do something in a situation, I just want him to do it. Especially coming to a stage where the character is going to get so emotionally involved, and I just want to see that, like, uncontrolled, unbridled rage and impulse start to take over as he almost gave spoilers there. But like, I want to see him play to that chink in his armour. The people of Thornsguard, the Iron Dragons, Sophia. Like, I want to see more of his weakness. Because for me, that's one of the most interesting things with Wulfric. You know, his mechanics are great, his numbers are always high, he's a good talker because Euan's a good talker, but the fact that Euan is willing to let himself get vulnerable with Wulfric, RP wise, you know, that's what I want to see as we move into Thornsguard. I want to see more of that. I want to see Wulfric the person, I want to see Wulfric the character. I want to see everything come to light in a nice little package. And I just want to see Euan continuing to play Wulfric, you know, as a character, rather than kind of Wulfric becoming another extension of Euan and a lot of his personality traits. I want to keep seeing Euan act and play Wulfric with his thoughts and his feelings, because he's quite quickly becoming one of my favourites.